Know Your Candidate. Presented by Portland is Possible, broadcasted by XRAY FM. In this segment, we offer a brief background on the visionary candidates that are proudly standing and running for Portland mayor. The new mayor position is different. They will provide the city administrator. That will be confirmed by the majority of the 12 members of the Portland Area City Council. Characteristics of the new mayor-council form of government: mayor is elected separately from the council, is often full-time and paid, with significant administrative authority. Depending on the municipal charter, the mayor could have weak or strong powers. Council is elected and maintains legislative powers.
My name is Martin Ward. I'm running for mayor of Portland. You can learn more about me at martinward4mayor.com, the number 4.
How can we make it easier for Portlanders to get to the central city by bike and transit?
So I don't really have anything for bikes right now, but I do have some new bus lines. Several of the bus lines in North and Northeast Portland I just kind of redesigned so they come into the city, as well as from Oregon City, Milwaukee, the Milwaukee line going down McLaughlin. It's going to come all the way downtown, and I think a few routes on the west side I also have coming downtown. So more just TriMet related access rather than biking at this time.
What type of artistic institution and businesses are more important in your opinion to grow in the next decade?
Yeah, so the big thing I have is a free college. I'm working to make PCC, PSU free, the public colleges, which will lead to, higher skills for everybody, as well as, culture, people meeting each other. And then, I definitely want to ideally bring research institutions into Portland. That's what leads to innovation, high-tech innovation, pharmaceuticals, which then can lead to, GDP growth.
What is important to you when considering how to spur the local economy and improve outcomes for local business owners?
Yeah, for local businesses, small businesses, there's a lot of different types of taxes and fees at the local level, federal level, state level. So, I have a lot of budget cuts already lined up. I'm going to be working on making some cuts. I don't have all the information on the sources of revenue right now. The city doesn't have that transparent specifically, so I'll be working on creating better summaries so I can know all the different sources of revenue. But a lot of the fees, a lot of the small fees, I want to cut down and have a more streamlined tax process, and we only have, so we have fewer sources of revenue that collect all the money, which is simpler, it's more efficient for the city and for the people. Property tax, I'm going to probably try to bring that down a little bit. It'll take a year or two, but that's an expense on businesses as well as homeowners. And I have tax reforms for the federal level. That's where I have much larger scale tax reforms that will benefit businesses as well as people. But that's more longer term. But you can learn about that on my website as well. And then free college. I think that'll benefit, higher skilled workers in all companies, ideally.
100 years ago, Portland leaders established the Bull Run Reservoir to safekeep clean drinking water for future generations. What is one thing Portland should be doing now for future generations?
Yeah, so probably the biggest infrastructure goal I have is moving Portland's electrical grid to a wireless electricity. Currently our electrical grid is above ground, it's wires, and when there's windstorms and ice storms, it goes out and it's terrible. Nobody has fun, people, it's a safety hazard. So, I want to be the first city to have a wireless electrical grid. So it's not short term, the technology isn't quite there yet, but hopefully maybe in 20 years, maybe the technology will be there where we can have wireless electricity transfers throughout the city into homes. So I think that would probably be the biggest infrastructure goal at the local level. I have some other infrastructure goals, but it's more state, federal level, international level. I have one vision of an intercontinental train system, a train that will go all the way around the world, go over the Bering Strait from Alaska to Russia. So that's a big goal I have. Definitely more federal, international level than local. But yeah, I think wireless electricity would probably be the biggest infrastructure goal.
How do we use or progress our current infrastructure to withstand substantial growth in the city?
Yeah, so, I have several solutions. One is just building up taller buildings, especially in the inner city, near downtown, the east side. There's a lot of potential, and definitely along the transit lines, the light rail, whether it's in the inner city, Lloyd area, all the way out to Gresham. Just building along the light rail so it's easier for people to have access to transit, which can then get into the city. Public transit, of course, can help decrease traffic, which is a problem already, and if we keep growing, will be a bigger problem. I have plans to potentially make TriMet free. Right now, TriMet is essentially funded by taxes. 95% of the yearly budget is from tax revenue. Only $50 million is from ticket sales out of $1 billion budget. So, making it free isn't really that much of a stretch as far as revenue goes. I have several cuts and ways to make TriMet more efficient, so we wouldn't even necessarily need to raise taxes at all or anything like that. So, free TriMet would make it easier, and it would encourage the use of TriMet, especially for people who are like middle income, upper income, because lower income, they usually have subsidies and can get free TriMet passes. But for the middle class, upper class, if it's free and you can just jump on, I think they might use it more. So that would help with traffic. I have plans to build new exits for freeways in Portland, around Portland, entrances and exits, on ramps, off ramps. That will help with congestion, getting on and off the freeways. And then, one final solution is definitely trying to get people to work near where they live and live near where they work more. I have a solution to kind of help organize employment, so it's easier to organize people so they work near where they live. If their commutes are shorter, if they can walk to work, if it's, a shorter drive, a straight bus line, as long as it's shorter, there's going to be less traffic on the streets, which will make it a lot easier to deal with growth, more people living in the city. So, yeah.
Lightning round. If you couldn't live in Portland, where would you want to live?
There's a lot of great places to live, so it's difficult to say.
Should Portland offer a universal basic income for artists?
No, I support homeless shelters, new homeless shelters, for those who are really in need.
What events or place in Portland that no longer exists do you wish you could bring back?
It's difficult to say. I don't have anything that I remember really.
If you had $5 million, what is one thing you would buy for Portland?
Yeah, $5 million is a small amount, but I have various investments. $5 million could help cover video cameras for public safety, free RV parks for the homeless. $5 million could probably build one or two of those. Yeah.
What's the most Portlandy thing you have seen this week?
Yeah, I was at the Swifts and I saw one dude crouched down, and he was peeing out the side of his shorts. So he didn't even pull his pants down. It was just down his short line. So I thought that was funny. Multnomah Falls.
So now you know your candidate, or a bit about them. We like to thank the visionary candidates, also like to especially thank all the volunteers and organizations that put this together. We couldn't do this without you. To look at each candidate, be a good Portland citizen, and to be a dashing and informed voter, listen to XRAY FM to learn about ballots and the new ranked choice voting system. And check out portlandpossible.org.